Hi, this is Billie Beene here with another segment of Truth by Billie Beene special report. Today's date, November 19, 2022. This is a new YouTube channel for me. I have a subscribe button in the lower right corner of my screen. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share on YouTube and Rumble. This is episode 465. Some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot Subscriber, Beston Taylor, Hal Turner, Steve Quells, Monkey Werx, Mike from Around the World, and Paul Begley, ShariRaye, Real Raw News, Larry Johnson, Eurasian Times, Israeli News Live, Mike Adams, and USNI News Plus. Some of the things we'll be covering. Russia sends a dummy nuke over Kiev. You want to play rough? Well, this is what we can do. Chinese and the railroad strike in the U.S., how are they related? And the military puts in place a no-fly zone over Mar-a-Lago that's going to last until May of 2023. So let's get started with some of this information. It's pretty new, and I've added different parts to it. Okay. Now, for some time I've been hearing that the Chinese were orchestrating the railroad strike in the U.S. I think they have something like, I don't know, 12 to 15 groups, different craft groups within the railroad that work on the railroads, and they all have to sign off on a contract because they all work on different railroads. They go from one to another often. Okay, and I've been hearing that the Chinese were involved in this. I think I first heard that from Israeli News Live, Stephen Benoon, formerly with the CIA, now has a ministry, but regularly gets updates from the Pentagon. Now I have other sources, Beston Taylor and Mike Adams. Okay, so now recently we heard about Governor Abbott of Texas invoking the invasion clause in both the U.S. and Texas Constitution and putting the National Guard and gunboats and other things on our southern border. And we also have had multiple sources for years saying, and now I'm beginning to believe it, that there are 50,000 Chinese troops somewhere, along our southern border, most likely in an underground bunker like they were in Canada. Okay. Now, why would they be orchestrating the railroad strike? Because if you were getting ready to invade a nation, you would want it shut down as much as possible, and that would shut down the railroads. We know, and I have to believe that they're also, this is the deep state, is also orchestrating the diesel supply that's gone away, and that would also shut down your trucking. So, and other types of vehicles. So that's going on. Okay. And we have this, that the deep state wants to also implement a digital currency, take away all currency, only let it be digital through your banks. Let me tell you, a society that agrees that its government and its banks can control its money digitally through it's quantum, it's complete. No, no, no. That's a characteristic of a slave society. There must be currency freely flowing through your society. And you must be able to get your money in currency or gold and silver in some form, not just digital. Okay. Now we saw that fiasco recently with FTX in Ukraine. And it's also widened. Now it's very likely to impact and bring down all cryptocurrencies. And we saw that the U.S. Money, that's taxpayer money from you and I, then went to FTX in Ukraine to be washed, and then came back to the U.S., to the Dems, and the Rhino Republicans. And my analogy was like baseball, to steal bases. That happened recently. And then after the November 8 election, the CEO resigned of FTX, and the company filed for bankruptcy. So that's going on. Now, confirming FTX was involved in Ukraine and the money is Larry Johnson, former CIA. Okay. We have this. Inside, let me draw another map. This is Ukraine, Luhansk, Donetsk, Kherson, Zaporizhzhia. This is all now part of Russia. We have Crimea down here. All right. Now, on 11/17, Russia launched a second round of missiles to hit the infrastructure, electricity, and water inside Ukraine. They fired 60 missiles, and they included Odessa, Kiev, Izium, Lviv. They also hit near the Dnipro River. They hit machine building and gas production facilities, Gas, several locations. And they were launching from the Black Sea, and they were launching from tactical bombers, missiles X-101, X-555. All right. Now, Eurasian Times is reporting that Russia shot down 2 Ukrainian planes, Su-25s, and a MiG-29. That happened on 11/17, as reported by the Russian Ministry of Defense. Now, on 11/17, Russia fired over Kiev, the capital city of Ukraine, a dummy nuke that could have carried a 200 kiloton nuke. It's used for training by Russia. Russia launched it. It's an X-55. It's believed to give a warning to Kiev. And the earlier missile that supposedly was fired from Ukraine into Poland, you know, the NATO and the U.S. did come out immediately, almost within hours, and say, no, that was a Ukrainian missile, while Zelensky said, no, no. Okay, which angered NATO. Yeah, maybe his nose was a little too white on that day. Okay. Best and Taylor are reporting that in Kherson, the Russians are pulling back. They moved all their people to the east side of the Dnipro River. Now they're pulling back an additional 20 to 30 kilometers, which is about 12 to 20 miles. So it's believed something's up. So, yeah. All right. Now we have this from Hal Turner. And there's a video to confirm this. If you want to watch it, I'm sure you can find it somewhere on the internet. That on 11/19, in this area, Luhansk, and a village called Malinka, that Ukraine captured Russian soldiers, disarmed them, had them lay face down on the ground, and then shot them dead. These are we don't know if this was the Azov, the paramilitary group inside Ukraine that actively practices the Germany World War II philosophy, or if it was Ukraine military. But it is on video. Now, so that happened, and it was Ukraine military. The 80th Separate Airborne Assault Brigade, Ukraine military. And it's understood that the Russian government now knows each individual in that brigade, their name, and their location. So it would be a good time to have a coming to Jesus moment if you are one of those brigade members that murdered the Russian POWs. Okay. Now, this is being reported by ShariRaye and I think Real Raw News. In Washington, D.C., a few days ago, we heard about a fence being built around the Federal Reserve building. Now it comes out that there was a shooting there on 11/15 between the Marines and the deep state operatives in the Federal Reserve building. And this is tied somehow to FTX and digital currency. So that's going on. Now we have this, that Werx is reporting and continues to report. Inside the U.S., we have from Biggs military base, small groups. Monkey doesn't know if they're military or contractors being taken across the United States to different cities. But this raises, and we have heard multiple sources raising this, Jade Helm is getting ready to go live. And we know that Jade Helm was a military exercise to lock down the American citizens. But as I said and reported many times, and I have Patriot subscribers who are confirming 100 million organized American citizen patriots in militias, and they're ready. So, yeah. So we got that going on. And, yeah, that word about Jade Helm being resurrected, that came from Mike from around the world recently. Okay, now, around Florida, Mar-a-Lago, the location for President Trump. Werx is reporting that the military no-fly zone is in effect over Mar-a-Lago until May of 2023. So we see something is going on, isn't it? Now, let's see. We have reports of multiple ships from multiple nations being in the North Sea, the North Atlantic, and the Mediterranean Sea, from the U.S., Italy, France, Germany, other locations, NATO carriers. So it's good to remember who is in charge. That would be God, and He is on the move for sure. Nothing's going to happen without God letting it. And He certainly is going to be protecting us, His sons and daughters. I love you, and I'll see you soon.